Mike, how did it get to this point with Zach?
It's first of all, it stinks, because I know what kind of competitor he is, and I know what kind of man he is, and I full-heartedly mean that. I got to do a better job. I got to do a better job for him. I got to do a better job for the offense. I truly believe it starts with me. It ends with me. So I got to figure out a way to reset him, get him back to playing fundamentally sound football, and more importantly, just consistent football, because he's done some really good things, but I haven't done a good enough job to get the consistency out of him. So that starts and ends with me.
Mike, the reset that Sal talked about, he talked about him correcting some fundamental things. How do you do that when you're also preparing for the Chicago Bears, trying to get Mike White ready? This is in August when you can sort of have that time to work on stuff.
Yeah, no, I mean that's a good question. It's a fair question. It's we have a lot of individual time. He's going to have a lot of time working with the scout team, which is more valuable. It's valuable for any position, but it is extremely valuable for a quarterback, because you can try some things, you can do some things, you can learn some things about yourself and the speed of the NFL game, knowing that you can make mistakes and it's not going to cost the team. Obviously, there's going to be plenty of time, and it's not just the quarterback. I mean, we're always working to try to develop the practice squad receivers, the practice squad offensive linemen, because they're one play away, and we've really felt that the last few years, obviously with COVID. It's no different with him. We're just got to take a thorough approach at everything, look at everything, and again find a way to just get more consistent play.
Where did it all go wrong? Like where at this point, where did it all go wrong? Because a couple weeks ago, I mean, we had you guys saying you believe in them. There were good moments and high moments, whether it was the victory over the Bills. I mean, where did it take this turn?
Yeah, I mean, if I had that answer, I'd tell you right now, and that's what we're going to be searching for over these next few weeks is, how can we just get, again, I go back, and it's any position, but, and it's coaching as well. It's how can you have consistent performances, and it will always, at any level, come back down to the fundamentals, and we just got to get back to that foundation.
103 yards on Sunday. What broke down offensively?
Yeah, I mean, it was bad, and I'll say it with Zach. I'll say it with the performance on Sunday. It starts with me. It ends with me. We got to be better. I got to get the entire offense, not just Zach, not just the quarterbacks. We had to execute better, and the first half there wasn't great, but kind of went the way I thought it would. I thought there were some opportunities to make plays, and we didn't execute it, and we didn't get it done. And then the second half obviously just went haywire on us. Couldn't get a run game going. We were behind the chains on third down, and when you play, that defense in that stadium, I don't care if it's 80 degrees and sunny or whatever the heck it was. It doesn't matter. You're behind the chains, and you're letting that D-line tee off when they had a lot of momentum because they knew we were struggling, and you could almost kind of see them feasting. And we got to be stronger as coaches to make sure that our players just understand you just keep chopping away, and we didn't get that done. So, again, it starts with me. It goes to the rest of the coaches.
Mike, Zach's had bad games before, but you always stuck with him. What was so alarming about this performance that led you to this decision?
I'm not going to get into all that. It's not just, again, it wasn't just all him on Sunday. This is just looking at the totality of the situation, what Saleh and the organization believes is best for Zach and best for this team right now. So that's kind of where we're at. And again, we're gonna, like you said, you're gonna keep hearing it, but we're gonna hit the reset button in all facets and work to just improve every single day.
Mike, as a coach who represents the players in the locker room, when you heard Zach's answer to the question, he didn't feel like him and the offense let the defense down in this post-game presser on Sunday. What was your reaction to that?
I don't think he meant it. I think he was caught up in the moment, and I think it's a great learning experience for a young quarterback. It's not an excuse for him. We didn't just let the defense down. We let ourselves down. We didn't play well at all. And our defense gave us every opportunity to win, and we didn't get it done. And again, that starts and ends with me. What he said. He obviously can't take it back. He's going to learn from it. He's going to be better from it. But we all know why we lost that football game, and it didn't come down to that last punt return or anything like that. I got to be better, and I got to put our guys in a situation to get it done, so it doesn't even get to that point.
Mike, what does Mike bring to the table at this time that you think will give this team a spark?
Yeah, I think all our quarterbacks are capable. Mike in his brief action a year ago did obviously some pretty good stuff. That wasn't always perfect, obviously. The Cincinnati game went about as good as it could, obviously for basically any quarterback. And then we had we played that Thursday night versus Indianapolis obviously when you play on Thursday, you don't practice at all. You just kind of walk through, and he started out well. He went down those first 2 drives, and next thing you know, it's 7-7 late in the first quarter, and they tell me he's done for the game, and I have no idea why, and his arm went numb or something like that, whatever that was. And then came back versus Buffalo, and we all know how that went. It was, not to make excuses, but it was the number 1 defense in football. We had to be very, very, very good around him, starting with me, and we didn't get that done, and it snowballed into the third quarter of that situation. And that's all we've had of Mike. That's all he's ever played in the NFL. He's more than capable of getting it done, both physically, but probably more so mentally. He's on top of his stuff, even when he wasn't. Even when he wasn't dressing, he's always been on it. He's always going to be within the game plan, and he's going to get his op on Sunday to lead this team.
When he had that great game against Cincinnati, you guys were not in the playoff race. Now you're in the thick of it. How do you think he's going to handle it?
Yeah, it's a fair question, but you just hope that what we preach and what they preach as players is. We're trying to be 1-0 this week, no matter what our record is. And we're going into Cincinnati, and we obviously weren't in a playoff race. He went and played a great game. I want him to take that same approach, whatever approach any of these guys have. Take that same approach. I don't care if it's middle of December and we're fighting for the playoffs, or it's the first game of the year, or it's week 7 of 2021. They got to take that same approach.
How do you expect, knowing Zach, how do you expect him to respond or maybe grow from everything that's happened?
Yeah, he's going to work. He's just going to go back to work. That's all you can do. It's. I got home Sunday night, went and gave my 7-year-old a kiss. She was sleeping. My 5-year-old, gave him a big hug and hung out with my wife. And you dwell on it for about 2 minutes, and then you know that the sun's going to come up, and you better get back to work because people are counting on you. And that's what you do as a coach. That's what you do as a player in that locker room, and that's what he's going to do. He's just going to go grind. And he's been in this situation before in terms of not playing because of injury. During that, he was working his butt off to make sure that he was obviously staying on it within the game plan, but physically putting himself in the best situation possible, and that's what he's going to go do right now.
Garrett Wilson said some things on Sunday. Obviously, he was frustrated too, but about you guys have to be better in practice and about putting the receivers in a better opportunity to make some plays. I just want to know what you thought of that. If you thought it was frustration, or if you think what you can do better in practice and to
listen, anytime, particularly on first and second down, when if guys aren't open, you're going to take that, as a coordinator, you're going to put that on yourself. 3rd and 7+ in this league, good luck. There's, it's tough sledding, and guys got to separate and make plays, and it's going to be sticky, and it's going to be holding. Everyone knows what's going on in those situations. But again, it wasn't good enough. And so I don't mind what Garrett said at all. He's a competitor, and I have so much respect for him and the way he works. There's no one perfect on this offense right now, right? And but it all starts with me, and I got to continue to work with these guys and put them in positions to understand how important each and every play is and how important the details are, to be obsessed with the details.
Mike, you made reference to Zach's kind of been through the sitting on the side thing because he's the injuries that he's had over the last 2 years, but when he's missed games because of injury, there was always you're the starting quarterback once you're healthy. I mean, this is now a performance thing where you guys are kind of saying you need to go to someone else because that guy's going to give us the best chance to win. Is this as much about him having a mental reset as it is a physical reset? And how do you think he'll bounce back from this new situation?
Yeah, I think to answer the second question, I think he's going to bounce back just fine because that's what kind of guy I believe he is inside, what kind of guy I know he is inside. But yeah, it's both. It's a mental and physical reset. More so, I would say the physical. We just got to I got to find a way to get him to play more fundamentally sound in the lower half, and that's what we tend to do over these next few weeks. Is just again get him to, the more consistent you are in your lower half, the more consistent play you're going to have when we get out there on Sundays, and so we're just going to get right back to that.
Have you ever been around a quarterback that struggled with that had all the talent but then just fundamentally it wasn't there? A little stretch?
Yeah, I mean, for different reasons, whatnot, but, not going to name any names with that, but yes.
Condon and Dan.
Mike, if I could ask about one play call from Sunday, 3rd and 1 before the punt, the last series that he ends up throwing to Michael on the side, loses 2 yards. What you're dealing with time crunch there. You just kind of what was behind the play call? Where was that ball supposed to go? I'm guessing that was not his first read.
Yeah, no, we called I put Conklin in the boundary right there. I'll answer it fully. I mean, I put Conklin in the boundary. I was anticipating more of a sticky man coverage. They went and played at Tampa 2, so we had the whole wave of players coming into his vision. You got the through route that was clearing out the mic. If you get your eyes there early enough, you have an opportunity there. It's probably going to be an opportunity ball that was going to have to get up and down. You got Elijah coming underneath, that if they're getting too much depth, you can pop the ball there. And then Mims was clearing that backer on the backside. So we call it an across-the-board read. It's pretty standard concept that, a lot of teams around the league, particularly Rams, are running about 100 times a year, it seems like. You just go across the board with it. And that particular play, the pocket was clean. There was an opportunity to slide a little bit, but we didn't get it done, and that's a totality of just kind of how the whole game went. When you're feeling the pressure, I know those first third downs before that, I mean, there wasn't a lot going on. It was 3rd and longer, 3rd and 7, 3rd and 8, 3rd and 9, and that pocket was collapsing quickly. So again, I got to call the right plays to get that ball out a little bit faster, even if it's 3rd and long. It kind of is what it is. I got to understand the situation better. We got to do a better job up front. But again, ultimately, it's always going to and will fall on me.
Dan.
Mike, you spoke a few minutes ago about improving the lower half. Why does Zach Wilson throw off his back foot so much? What leads to that, and how do you fix that?
Yeah, no, it's just something that we got to continue to point out. We got to continue to drill. I mean, you're never going to simulate a pocket in a Wednesday, Thursday, Friday individual period. You can semi-simulate it in practice, but you also know you're not getting hit right there. So it's kind of real, it's kind of not, and so you just got to be very cognizant when you're watching tape, and then try to make that Sunday come to life as much as you can on Wednesdays. Whether you're rolling balls at guy, whatever it is, whether you're hitting them with pads, just so they can feel that pocket. And there's different ways. It's kind of coach talk at times, but that's where we're at right now. We got to work on that and get the feet in the ground so we can have more of a consistent swing, just like you would in golf.
Mike, before the season, Coach Sala said you're not going to sacrifice short-term success for long-term success for short-term success. But given the fact that the young players, he said over and over again, have developed so fast, especially on the defensive side of the ball, how much does that impact the decision because the playoffs seem attainable right now?
Yeah, that's probably a question more for Saleh, just because of how you asked it in terms of the totality of the defense and all that. So, I'll let him answer that. But again, we're always evaluating in regardless of development. We want to develop all these guys, whether they're playing or not. But more importantly, we're trying to be 1-0 every single Sunday, and that's where the decision came about.
Thank you.